Welcome to Founders Forum. My name is Executive Trustee David Renty. Do you remember the first time you attended an educational session about Concept Marketing International? Were you like many others saying to yourself, what am I here for and what has my friend got me into now? Then you found out it was about turning control of your life back to you. Today, the Founders Forum discussion centers on the CMI Mission Statement, one sentence that has transformed many of our lives into a different economic reality. You may want to grab a friend to listen along with you as we hear from the CMI founder and executive trustee, Mr. James E. Aldrich Jr., on the topic, the CMI Mission Statement.
A different economic reality. Thomas Edison was not afraid to think differently or take risks. He knew uncommon ideals could turn into unexpected inventions. It's a good thing, or we would all be in the dark. Thinking differently leads to innovative ideals that are fresh, that catch on, and gives you a new view of your world first. To be different is a good thing. By you deciding to take advantage of the CMI opportunity, you will see what we mean. Otherwise, you would have been left in the dark. CMI has the resources, resolve, and intent to return control of a family's financial destiny back to the family and out of the hands of your employer, the IRS, and our government. Hello, and welcome once again. In CMI, we're on a mission. And you may ask, what is this mission? Or how do we display or tell this to the public? Our purpose, our intent. What's our rallying point or our rallying call for the company? As the founder of the company, I knew that it would be very important to develop a main concept that could be easily conveyed to the membership that would allow them to have something to attach their purpose in CMI to, and that could be passed on, hopefully, from one generation to the next. These are only a few reasons why I felt it was important to do a segment on understanding our mission statement and understanding the purpose behind it, and realizing that there are a huge amount of in-between the line messages within that one line. And you know, some people think that it's actually a paragraph, but it is really only one line, and it has huge meaning, and it has just an incredible amount of messages that are embedded within this one line. You know, actually, when we first started to develop this mission statement, it was 2.5 pages long. Now, we had always been taught that a mission statement had to be something that you could recite at gunpoint. That may sound a little strange, but that is how simple you needed to have the mission statement be. But it had to, at the same time, cover the basis in what you were wanting to convey to your friends, family, relatives, public, and the membership at large. Over the years, we have refined the company, and we have refined our statement, and it has evolved and we've worked it and reworked it all the way down to this one sentence. And hopefully, in giving you the understanding behind the meaning in the words, that this mission statement will become a part of your life. Our wish is that this mission statement will be passed down from generation to generation, so that your family will have not only their private and personal mission for their family, but also a mission at large for the family to rally around. Have that be your guiding message for your family to develop their own mission statements within and from. So let's first look at the title of the mission statement alone by itself: A Different Economic Reality. CMI's first and foremost purpose was for an individual to look at their economic world through different eyes and with a different mindset, to move you away from the norm, or what's been normally done out there or taught out there, or what you normally learn. What did your parents bring you up as far as economics are concerned? What did you learn in school? What did you learn from the professionals at large about economics? And all of that had put you into a particular mindset that you're in now today. And that mindset is thinking you only had one way of doing anything. And in CMI, you have learned, and you will learn, being a new member, listening to this information, that you now have choices. Through your seminars, workshops, academies, advanced academies, you will find that there are a multitude of solutions to the challenges that you face, not just the ones that you have been born, raised, and bred on and in. So the word different has a total meaning of that's exactly where we are trying to guide you. Through the education process that we have, we are going to try and literally almost force you to look at your economic world, your economic life, your economic future in a very different manner, realizing that we're not bringing information to you that is new or different. It is tried and true, and it is backed up and supported by generations of success and generation of successful families that have used this different information that we're sharing with you to bring their families to where they are today. The purpose is so that you will no longer be left in the dark when it comes to finding out and being able to determine which choices are best for your family, and understanding that you do not have to do the same thing that your neighbor is doing or your counterpart is doing. You can do something different and achieve a far different level of success for your family. We realize CMI is an uncommon company with uncommon ideals. By the fresh and new and innovative concepts that you have learned from CMI to this point, versus for our new members coming into our information, which they will learn through their educational process in CMI. By taking that approach, we have created incredible opportunity for everyday working people. By taking this approach and being different and presenting fresh, new, innovative ideas and reworking those ideals so that the working class could take advantage of them, this is where your impression of what you saw for the first time came from. Now, we had an unexpected perk from this different idea, and that was we also attracted people of wealth, people of huge success already, because even in their world, they were still born, raised, and bred that they only had one way of doing anything. And to realize that there were actually choices even at their level, by looking at their financial and economic world differently, caused them to take and embrace our mission statement also. Thinking differently has been an incredible and exciting and outstanding advantage for CMI. By bringing this concept together and forcing people to look at the reality of their financial and economic world around them, this is where the word reality comes in our title, a different economic reality. Many times, believe it or not, people are scared to death by reality. At the same time, they can be intrigued and entertained by reality. Case in point, look at the so-called reality shows that are on our televisions today, and how people are absolutely captured by it, scared to death by it, but at the same time captivated by it. It causes them to be frozen where they are. You notice, you see something of reality, car chase, you're just stuck right there, frozen to the television, you can't move. Believe it or not, this is the same effect that our information has on people when they see it for the first time, because we are showing them the reality of what they have been up against, and the reality of why they are in the position that they are is simply because this lack of choices and not being able to see what different is out there and available for them. When we are in the presentation and we're sharing with you the reality of your work and the limitations there and the control element there, the reality of your home life, the reality of your success, the reality of your failure, believe it or not, many times people do not want to look at their world through such real eyes. But you have to realize, not knowing what is reality is an extremely bad thing for your family, and it will constantly keep you behind the 8 ball. Only in knowing and realizing the reality of your job, that it's not going to get you where you want to be financially. It's not going to get your children into that Ivy League school. It's not going to pay you what you feel you are worth. Then you are also looking at the reality of what if? What if something happens and I can't work? Now you're looking at the reality of who is actually in control. Do you realize when we look at the reality of even college and out there in the real world today, the professionals are sharing with you, do not save for college, because the reality of you saving for college now, that it's more important for you to save for retirement than it is for college, because they're banking on that our economy is going to put you in a position to where you will be financially strapped, you will be financially destitute, to where your children can apply for federal aid and government funding in order to educate themselves, but you will barely be able to retire. In the real world, they're sending you messages that you're even now starting to refuse to acknowledge. My goodness, when I heard that, don't save for college, save for retirement, because you'll be poor enough for your kids to get funding when they go to college. So it's best to put your money into your retirement. Now, even when you look at the reality of retirement, 4.2 million Americans, retired Americans, going back to work because of the reality of our economy and how they put themselves in the traditional investment vehicles and did all the things that they were supposed to do, but it was the same old that their parents had done, and the reality of not looking at their world differently and doing something differently is after 7 or 8 years of retirement, they're having to go back to work again. They did not face the reality of their financial position and our economic situation at that particular time. You absolutely do not want to make that mistake in not looking at the reality of where you are today. So if we deal with what is real now, in the future, we won't be left in the dark. Now, as you can see, in just the title alone, look at the incredible amount of meaning that stands alone in just our title alone. As we look into the body of the mission statement, we can begin by sharing CMI's commitment to the family. In the first statement of CMI has the resources, resolve, and intent. The reason we wanted to display the word resources is we wanted you to know that we can do absolutely all we say we can do because we have the tools to do it with, or the resources. Now, you can have the best laid plan, but without the right tools, how do you plan to actually build on that plan, bring that plan to success, if you have no tools to build it with? Without tools, you only have a dream. You don't have a plan. You just have a dream. In CMI, we no longer dream. We plan. We want to know what your dreams are, and then we turn those dreams into plans. With the right tools, those plans and dreams come into reality. So when we look at the word resources, we're definitely conveying to you that we have the ability to make your dreams come true. Now, of course, as we always say, we can set up your plan and you work your plan. We can't work it for you. And the reality of it is, yes, you will need to work your plan in order to bring your dreams to reality. Next, if we look up the definition of resolve, and I'm going to read that out of the dictionary for you here. One of the definitions here of resolve is to reduce by analysis the problem into simple elements, to deal with successful, clear, make clear, or understandable. Now, to find an answer. The resolve, we have gone to great lengths to do exactly that. To analyze the problem, the challenges that families face economically, financially, and then to reduce that challenge into simple elements or people language. That's why you see we deal with such high-level financial concepts, but they're broken down into very simple people language. We consider ourselves problem solvers, and that's what we are here to develop and create and turn you into, is problem solvers. All we want to know is what you want, need, and what you have to work with. And by using the right tools, we analyze your situation and break it down to its most simple elements for the most simple solution to what you first thought was a very complex financial position that you were in, or financial problem that you were in, or a complex economic situation that you were in. The resolve is to deal with successfully, make clear, understandable, and find a solution. This is our beginning and ending purpose when you come in to CMI. When we look at the next term in our mission statement, intent, let's see what we are looking at as far as the dictionary is concerned. Intent: clearly formulated or planned intentions, directed with strained or eager attention, concentrated, having the mind attention or will concentrated, or some end or purpose. All of those are very strong words and definitions. Our plan for your family is clearly formulated and planned. Our intent is clear in our resolve to stick with what we have been trying to bring to our families for the past 11 years, all the way up through now. You can only imagine the trials and tribulations that we've had to experience in our history and in our evolution, and backing up and going forward and putting down and restarting in order to complete the teaching system that we are now involved in. And that's not saying that it will not evolve further from where it is today. Our intent is clear in our consistent evolution of our materials, our tools, and our opportunities. Our constant striving to bring the best of all of these items to our families, to make their efforts effortless. Our intent is to stick with our families that are willing to stick with us, to find solutions and work those solutions until our families arrive to their intended destinies. Our intent for you is not to stay in the dark all your life. Our intent is that your heirs, your children, will not stay in the dark all their lives. This brings us to the element of returning control. And you might first think about and talk about returning control from who or what, and what type of control. How many of you remember the golden rule? Now, I'm talking about this golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. Now, that's a little different golden rule, okay? Just like our title, a different reality. Gold in this case is the money that you earn from who rules over you. And who do you think that is? First and foremost, your employer rules over you. How much does your employer rule over you? Well, on one basis, he rules over you, paying you what he feels you are worth. How many times have you all attempted to ask your employer for a raise, and what was the result of that attempt? How many times has your employer agreed with you that you are worth what you feel you're worth, and he's willing to pay you what you feel you need in order to have the lifestyle that you and your family deserve? How much control do you have over that decision? And I can imagine each and every one of you are saying, well, we have only two choices: to say okay, or no, that's it, I quit. Now, how many choices is that for you? Again, within our mission statement, our objective is to return that control back to you. So if you're not in agreement with who has control over you at this point, your employer, You find yourself making sacrifices, like the home you want to live in, the car you want to drive, the school you want to send your children to, when and how you can retire. You don't control the goal, so you can't make any of the rules. Who's next in this line of control? How about the partner that your employer has, the IRS? How do they control the goal? You guessed it, taxes. Had you thought about what if you could keep more of the goal that you work for? How differently would your life be today? The IRS takes out what they want, and you get what's left over. Only after your employer and the taxman makes their decision on how best to control your money, then you get to decide. But just when you thought it was safe to go out, the government comes through. Let me put this little caveat out there for you. Make sure you have a plan to live forever. Yes, you heard me correct. Make sure you have a plan to live forever. Because as soon as you die, here comes the state and the federal government. This time, the control element is over your loved ones, not you. The government will decide who gets what and how much. And then your kids will be left with whatever is left over. How much control do you have in that particular instant? Let me share a quick story with you about one of our professional football players here in Kansas City. He died in a car accident, had a $10 million estate, and it was all through the newspaper and radio and TV. And he had suits that he had purchased, and they were being auctioned off in order to pay estate, death taxes, probate. And the suits were a minimum of $3,000 each, and he had a closet full of them. Now, after the state and federal government went in to probate this estate, it was designated right on the news, and it just blew me away when I heard this. It said of his 7 children that each child was allowed to receive a maximum of $3,000 each from his $10 million estate. That meant each one of his children would have been allowed to have one of Daddy's suits. Unbelievable. What control element do you find there? Now, you don't have to worry. You know, we talk about regaining control and putting that control back into your hands through the resources we have available in CMI. And you don't have to worry about not doing that, because believe me, your employer, the IRS, and our government will be more than happy to have that control over you for you. If you want to start obtaining the control, then you must be the one that has the goal. From the time you're born to the time that you die, these elements have that control over you. How long have you been in the dark because of not looking at the reality of your economic position, your financial position, in a different manner, and not using resources out there available for you to regain control? Through income generated in CMI in your own part-time business, that control is eliminated from your employer. From taking advantage of the incredible tax advantages afforded you and having your own small home-based business, that control is released from the IRS over you. By taking advantage of the resources of having your own charitable family foundation, having your own estate plan through trust, you now take that control out of the hands of your government. All of a sudden, from combining all of the elements of our mission statement, a different economic reality. CMI has the resources, resolve, and intent to return control of your financial destiny back to your hands and out of the hands of your employer, the IRS, and our government. As you have now learned, there is a huge in-between-the-line message in our mission statement. There are many concepts and principles to rally around, to educate your children on, to pass down from generation to generation. Our mission statement gets you to look at your financial world in a different manner. Our financial concepts are not new and innovative. They are time-tested, tried, and true. It's time for you to control the gold so that you can make the rules that are best for your family instead of these three entities. My hope is you will embrace this truth and this reality and the true and proven mission statement and the concepts that it supports. Every member should be able to quote our mission statement by heart. What better rallying point? What better principles to raise your families around and through and with than the concept of true financial independence? One may ask, what's in a simple mission statement? The answer? My life, my future, and the life and future of my children are in this simple mission statement. CMI truly does offer a different economic reality. Through your effort to support and live by this mission statement, you too will come out of the darkness of the uninformed and into the light of the informed, thereby regaining control for you and your family. You now know the meaning and feeling of our mission statement. Now move forward to bring this statement to reality for you and your family and enjoy a true different economic reality. Until next time,